Good morning from Nigeria. I'm Titus Timothy presenting Paul 500 proposal assignment on behalf of my team members. And our topic is the influence of virtual class adoption on performance of academia during the COVID-19 pandemic era, evidence from selected Malaysian universities. IBRAHIM OLANREWAJU LAWAL is the team leader. This presentation is divided into 3 sections. Section 1 explains the following: introduction, problem statement, research questions, research objectives, research hypothesis, and significance of study. Sections 2 and 3 will present research dimensions, theoretical framework, literature gaps, methodology, and expected findings. Virtual class adoption, otherwise referred to as digital teaching method in education sector across the world, is currently undergoing serious debate. The debate started over 2 decades ago, but became more seriously among scholars as a result of the declaration of the coronavirus 2019, popularly called COVID-19 pandemic, by the World Health Organization. This declaration was pronounced by WHO in March 11, 2020. The perceived threat by COVID-19 pandemic forced most schools to shift into action by adopting virtual class in order to mitigate complete stoppage of both teachers and students from researching and learning. These institutions were confronted by the decision on how to continue to teach and perform other academic activities despite the COVID-19 pandemic ravaging the world, while ensuring that the faculty members and other support staff are safe. Meanwhile, much attention were not given to preparedness and, in particular, age and psychological impact it may have on the faculty members and students in most of the schools. This is why this research will focus on the influence of virtual classes adoption on performance of academia during the COVID-19 pandemic era, with evidence from selected universities in Malaysia. The spread of COVID-19 pandemic has created a great impact on many aspects of life, including the education sector, and has severely affected instructors, students, and higher education institutions across the world, including Malaysian education system. Despite the availability of plenty of platforms and online educational tools, the users face frequent obstacles and setbacks while adopting these tools. There is a need for investigating the impact of age as a factor on the virtual classroom in light of the literature already available in this regard. There is a need for extra research efforts that will concentrate on the relationship between the virtual classroom adoption and performance of academia during the COVID-19 pandemic. This table shows the objectives of this research, the research questions, and research hypotheses. The research questions: 1. To investigate the influence of virtual class adoption on performance of academia during the COVID-19 pandemic era from selected Malaysia universities. To determine the extent of accessibility to a new technology for virtual class and academia achievement during the COVID-19 pandemic era from selected Malaysian universities. Significance of study. The study will contribute to the existing literature review on the relationship between virtual class adoption on performance of academia during the COVID-19 pandemic era in the educational and to the Malaysian university education system in particular. The study will also contribute to the knowledge of the university administrators in education sectors, especially to the administrators and policymakers in Malaysia education sector, for instance, the Education Malaysia Global Services, EMGS. This research will also be beneficial to the academia, both the teachers and students who are interested in conducting further study in this area of research. Lastly, this study can influence decision of government administrators in formulating policies that can support provisions of adequate environments and infrastructures, including stable energy and up-to-date technology sufficient to realize efficient and effective learning in the education sector. Literature review. The chapter will be divided into 4 sections. The introduction, research dimensions, which includes anxiety among students and teachers, students' attitudes towards online learning, the use of technology in the classroom, online learning experience in Malaysia, theoretical framework, and lastly, literature gaps. Theoretical review section considers the following theories. 1. The theory of continuance, commitment, and other related theories. Psychological contract theory, organizational support theory. We have 3 variables in this study. One is independent variable, mediator variable, and dependent variable. Under the independent variable, we have technology or virtual class adoption, and mediator variable, we have age and psychological factor. Dependent variable, we have academia performance. Previous studies review will be divided into 2 parts: teachers, students' attitudes and challenges, the psychological impact of technology in the virtual classroom. Literature gaps reveal the following: that in studies related to preparing or training faculty members and students involved in the new online teaching and learning innovative technology. 2. Studies related to psychological and social effects and coping strategies during the COVID-19 pandemic. 3. Their need for studies missing in existing literature relating to age and psychological impact as a factor on the virtual classroom teaching and learning. Methodology. In this study, cross-sectional survey design approach is adopted. Quantitative approach will be utilized in the form of questionnaire and designed to be administered to the target audience or respondents. Academia from the 3 universities in Malaysia will be considered as the study population. Certified random sampling technique will then be utilized to distribute the questionnaires to the participants in the 3 universities that will be randomly selected. Cressy and Morgan 1970 will be adopted to determine the sample size of 384 determined in this study. Data will be collected through questionnaire development from the faculty members and students from the selected universities in Malaysia. The online classes adoption will be measured through 19-item scale of Venkatesh, Morris, Davis, and Davis 2003, which is modified outward model and also validated by Dwivedi, Rena, Jayaraj, Clement, and Williams 2019. Academic performance will be measured through the 4-item scale of McGill, Clovers, and Education 2009. Psychological effect will then be measured through 10-item scale of Furukawa, Kessler, Slade, and Andrews 2003. All ethical considerations such as seeking permission from the administrators of the selected universities and anonymous, voluntary, confidentiality of participants, and so on will be strictly adhered to. This study is expected to show positive, significant influence of adopting virtual class and increased academic performance. The study is also expected to reveal significant influence of age and psychological impact of adopting new technology in virtual teaching and learning, and academic efficiency and effectiveness and faculty members and students of the 3 selected universities in Malaysia. Thank you. Thank you so much for listening and watching. Bye.